Yeah.
Recording started. The question was, how is it different between ranked and scrim environment, and how can you better play around your team? Yes, ranked and scrim environments are going to be different, but there's also going to be a lot of things that stay the same. So they're different in the sense that it's more coordinated, organized. There's going to be more communication. Probably team compositions will be a lot more meta based and stick to hard compositions rather than just kind of be all over the place. Yeah, so it'll be a lot when you're in a ranked environment. It's going to be a lot more deathmatchy. Now what shouldn't so there's a little bit differences between the two as well. In a team environment, you should hopefully be looking to rely on your team more than in a ranked environment. In a ranked environment, you should not be expecting anything from your team whatsoever. In a team environment, you should hopefully be looking to coordinate and expect things from your teammates, though that does not change the fact that you still need to look to get value out of the game. Now, that is going to be, yeah, in a ranked environment you're basically looking to solo carry. In a team
Okay.
environment, it is similar to that, but you have to remember that you are playing with a team, and that team's there to support you, but you still need to do as much as possible to be able to influence that game, which means that even like that can get up to the point of carrying even in scrims. um Now, the question got to how can you better play around your team? Um, when it comes to team play, communication is like 70%, like 65% of total team play, right? The rest can be chalked up to maybe being on the same team comp and knowing the same strategy, and also you could say being on the same page and knowing the same information. But besides that, most of what makes up team play versus ranked play is actually being able to synergize and communicate and coordinate effectively. So listen to your teammates, and then also make sure that you are communicating. Um,
Okay.
mhm. All right, that answer the questions. You got anything else there?
Yeah, for now. I'll probably come up with another question midway through or at the end.
Alrighty, sounds good. So then I'll just be a minute or so. I'm looking for something to talk about, and we can go ahead and get started. And then just check. Last time we went over Echo. You're. I'm assuming you do want to go over Junkrat here to start. Then, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So press play.
Three, two, one. Attackers incoming.
Might have recommended to drop a trap there, as you are. So yeah, so two things here just to make this a little bit more efficient for yourself. Firstly, I might drop a trap right before it opens, that way, or even a couple seconds before it does open. That way you are able to get someone stuck and not moving. Additionally, I might avoid using your second mine, because you want that as your escape option, because, for example, notice like if they have a Lucio, or if they have any fast characters, they're going to be able to catch up to you super easily, or if they have any flying characters. So let's say they had a Diva or a Pharah or an Echo or anything like that, they can instantly get up top to you. um or they can run underneath you and catch up with you on the other end, and cut off your escape route. Now, does that mean that you should not be doing this? No, not necessarily. What I'm saying, though, is that you should probably have that second mine as a movement option to be able to get back to your team, because now look how like Ball gets ahead of you, but we don't have a mine to escape with. Which we make it out largely because they don't try to chase us. They have a Reaper. Reaper probably could have caught up to us. Um, Reinhardt, if he had charged forwards, he could probably make it to where you are, like right now, ahead of you.
Yeah.
So just that's an extra thing to keep in mind. Though I definitely do like the idea behind what you did. You got 50% ult charge right off the bat there. That's really great. Which, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was something that we reviewed last time. We talked about getting ult charge in between fights.
Yeah.
So that was
Uh,
definitely helpful.
I missed the ledge. Because right now I'm thinking, okay, they might tally up here, put a
Mm,
trap down, and
okay.
then
So if you're looking, so from right here, okay, where point out to me, like, where are all the different spots that they could tally to?
okay, so they could tally to this ledge. or
Mhm.
they could tele up to that high ground where BAP is, like that tower.
Okay.
They
And are those the two primary spots that you ever see TPs go to?
yeah, or
Yeah.
sometimes rarely to point, but
Rarely to point.
it,
That's interesting. I would probably say that that's the most common one that I see in games. That's possibly though a just a difference in like the ranked ladder of where people are. Yeah, I would say also point is another one, and then once you get really high, you'll also see this one where you can TP through from right here. You can TP up to this high
oh
ground right
yeah,
here.
sometimes the teams go up there as well.
Yeah. So typically, I would say like the higher up you go, the first one because they don't usually the first one's a little bit hidden. Like you don't know that they're on a sim right away. The first one goes to point. Second ones usually go, various places. All right. So we've identified those are maybe like the four places that they could go, and then when they go high ground here, they don't necessarily TP up to the top right. They could be in the middle here or to the left here, somewhere along that this whole high ground, right? Um, Now from here, which of those can we actively like from this? Firstly, we can say from because we end up dropping here. Um, from up here, right where we are right now, which of those four can we actively defend against or shoot at if they teleport in?
Well, probably not here. I'll probably like rotate towards my team and then shoot at them when they tele towards the
Mm.
mid or the top left actually.
Okay, so your plan is to rotate towards your team, so you're standing like right here, and
Yeah,
then you can turn around and shoot at wherever.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. That's a little bit more reasonable. Because over here you can't really see too much. But then additionally, I would probably recommend that you probably want to be positioned somewhere like top right here, because then you have
uh,
really great spam angles on anybody coming in through this side, which is actually where they're going to be TPing in from. And then notice how that actually opens up for you to be able to basically shoot them wherever they go. Right? You can shoot them if they go point. You can shoot them if they go top left. You can shoot them if they come on top of you. You have mines to escape with if you need to. You can shoot them if they go top up there. You have the option to mine and rotate up to high ground if you want to. So overall, this gives you a high ground advantage. This gives you the option to come and shoot through this window. This gives you the option to rotate pretty much anywhere. You can rotate around here. You can rotate up to this high ground. You can rotate over here. Pretty much this would be the best positioning you could be in. As of the moment, low ground, this would just mean that you're a little bit further away from all those options. You lose the high ground advantage. You can't really come up here as I guess you could technically say you could get up there, because it's taking a mine either way. You definitely can't get up here and go on these flank angles as easy if they went to point. Yeah, those would be all things I would say. Probably take this high ground would be best positioning, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, and then here it looks like we take top left, which means once again, so like if we're trying to shoot at anywhere they TP, we have to shoot from like a mile away, right? Which is just gonna make it hard. The shots are gonna be delayed. Projectiles from a distance don't go great usually. And notice there that the first one was point. Nice.
Swiftly.
Okay. Good shots. We got a tire. Nice. This is actually this is pretty good positioning. Right now, you could be even shooting through that window, getting spam damage in. You could be opening up. Yep, there you go. Probably could be doing that a little bit earlier, right? Once again, not to get ult charged, but because we're trying to, if they're trying to walk in, we're opening up for pick opportunities, but also damaging them as they're walking into the fight.
Double kill.
I try to go for the Rhine, but
hmm So here,
oh,
what
okay.
was the so it does at the center of the explosion. Ryan or tire does 600 damage. Why doesn't it kill Reinhardt here?
I think he got lamped. No,
No,
no, they don't.
mm-mm. Think it's because it's too far away from him. Right? Look at the middle of the explosion versus where Reinhardt is. So we
Okay.
do it too high up. Whereas if we let it drop for an extra second, then that kills 2 people rather than 1 person. And then it's, doing it for like letting it drop for an extra second is not going to be bad for you whatsoever, because it's not like Moira's going to destroy it in an extra second. So there's, that just gets you an extra, or not, probably not even a second, probably another half a second you let it drop, and then that kills him.
Double kill.
Alright. Going good so far. They may swap Sim, we'll see.
Oh, excuse me.
This will heal you.
Let them up.
Okay, nice hike that we dropped for that. That's good. Here, if we're looking to, if we see that they're not going to peek around, we could look to try to get some bounce shots, so we can bank it off of like the side up here. So bounce off of this, and then that could end up like dropping on top of them. If you know that they're not going to just walk into your shots, they're backing up because you have your bat bolt up. That's an idea there. Or
Okay.
alternatively, also you could go through the window on the top right as another option.
Okay. Yeah. This is like a bit dangerous of me, like being greedy.
Yep. Agree with you there.
There is nothing that will stand in my way. Yahi parambasta viktahe.
Get in here.
Kill the Mahol.
All right, so we're gonna go over a couple things here on Junk. Okay, so I don't think we've ever gone over Junk, right? I don't think we did.
No, we
Yeah.
have it.
All right, so Junk. Two things. So one, I think you got the general. You have the idea for your mines, but I think there's something that we're adding in. So when it comes to your mines, you have primarily two primary uses of it, and then you have, of course, you can add in extra things as well. I would say that right now you're using it for a third reason, and it's kind of wasting your mine. So you have 2 primary uses. You have one for mobility, right? You can use it to get high grounds, to go places faster, right? That's one primary usage of it. The other is to finish off kills. This can be done in a combo like that. You know how to do that. I saw you do it, right? It's doing it in that insta kill combo, or just you get a shot and then you finish them off, when they get the chance. It acts as a really great finisher because it's going to, but when you hit that first shot, you don't need a full second shot, right? Look at their health bar. This means that your second concuss can really be like anywhere within the general radius. It's basically a more forgiving area than your normal standard left click, so it's gonna be easier to finish them off with it, especially for like fast moving targets. It's just gonna be easier to finish with. Now, what I see you doing a lot is you will sometimes open with it, and this is an issue. When you open with it, when somebody's full HP, well, now that just sends them flying, and now you can't really follow up very easily, right? You don't want to open. Now, there are some times where, for example, I saw there's a time, for example, where there's a nano Symmetra on you, and you did that. That's fine, because you're just getting her off of you. That's another side use of it, right, that you can use. But I'm seeing
Okay.
very frequent other times where we'll just come into a fight, and we'll just, we'll start shooting at someone, and we'll go like that, and then we'll try to, and then we'll try to kill them as they're flying across the map, right? Whereas it'd just be a lot easier to use that as the finisher, not instead of the engager, the opener. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Yeah, okay. So then another thing is your range on Junkrat. So we see it especially in this in the fight, once the fight starts. So when it comes to Junkrat, right? Some people get a bit confused. Apologies, I just had a baby sister walk into the room. Let me take her out and then I'll be right back.
That's fine.
apologies for that.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right, so some people get a little bit confused over the over Junkrat's ranging because they, hear that that a lot, that he'll be defined as a spam character, but then at the same time he's also a projectile character, and he doesn't necessarily prefer to be at a range, because then that means that he's going to be very inaccurate with his shots. So let's define kind of when that changes between kind of a spam playstyle to a more accurate playstyle, and how that affects your ranging. So when it comes to your gameplay, right, like we can think through where we were on Hanamura. If they are at choke, right, and they're trying to walk through choke, or they're trying to come through TPs, they're going to their entire team's going to be stacked on this in this tiny little ball, right? Either when they're going through the choke, which is a small little funnel where you can just go pew pew bang bang pew pew. Doesn't matter what range you're at. You can be like, you can be all the way back up here. Now you don't want to stand a mile away, but you can be more of a mid to long ranged if you have something like this where you have a choke that you're just spamming through, because you don't need to be incredibly accurate. You're shooting into a choke where you're getting all the damage in. Kind of same thing when they're TPing through, because wherever they TP, they're all in this tiny little ball, right? Now, once they have gotten through the choke and gotten through the TP, they're not going to be remaining in that tiny little ball. That's now where it looks more like this, where they're all spread out. Now, if you're trying to do this from a mile away, right, it's not going to go nearly as well, because you're going to be missing a whole heck of a lot of shots, and they're not going to be doing a whole lot. So, therefore, you probably want to close the gap and get closer to them with your ranging, because as a projectile character with both your mines and your primary fire, it's going to be more difficult to land at a range. You do the same damage from a range, but by the time your pellet gets there, they've already moved out of the way. They see it coming, they moved, or they accidentally moved, or they've shielded, or anything of that sort, right? So, therefore, you want to be getting closer. So instead of sitting back, you probably have more of a preference to be around, let's say, like 15 meters or closer is your preference range, somewhere within that. As close as possible is really going to be good. 15 is more like, yeah, I would say that it's like 15, but it gets increasingly good the closer you get, because then you can do like insta shots on people. And then once again, like you can get further and further back as the scenario allows it. So does that make sense in terms of when you should be doing what there?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because if we go back and look at your gameplay, what happens is that you maintain, or where are we at here? You're on Hanamura. You maintain that really far spammy playstyle after they're all on point and spread out, right? So they come in. Let's see it. Yeah, I think it's during this fight, right? So watch how they all get in.
Yahi
Right, they TP. They're all in this little ball. That's fine. You're spamming. Right, they TP. You're spamming. Now they've all exited the fight is engaged. Everyone is spread out. Look at the map right now. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all in different places. No longer will the pure spamming work, because they're no longer grouped up, right? They're not in a tiny little ball. So now, watch how we maintain this throughout the entirety of this fight. We maintain like 30, 35 meters away from people, and we're just spam, and like none of these shots are hitting, right? Spam, spam, right from a mile away. Whereas we could be just, get up to here, and now look at this distance on Symmetra, right?
Okay.
It's much closer distance. You're gonna be able to do more. Okay, we're gonna continue to do it. Spam, and then until we die, pretty much here. And then Reaper TP's up, keeping your ears open. Yep, that was a bigger thing there.
Objective lost. New defense point. Objective B.
hunter lays a trap for his prey.
Yeah, true. Do you know what your plan is at the moment?
I think I was just scouting for them, but I heard Reapers like, okay, he
Mm.
found me out, so I just skip back.
Yeah, I'd say that whole scenario wasn't too particularly helpful. Scouting, you don't need to be dropping from the window to know where they are, because you can just peek here and you can see that they're all over on that side. Your whole team can hear that they're over there. They're all shooting over there. So when it comes to scouting, right? Scouting is the gathering of information. This isn't particularly gathering too much information to drop here. In fact, if they're about to be pushing through this choke point, we probably want to be spamming in there and doing stuff. Now, the thing we could be doing is looking for ultimate, but this is not going to be a very helpful angle to look for it from. Something that you could try is to, like, something that I've done in the past, for example, is I'll come to this window and mine over this roof and land like behind them, and I can tire from there. You could potentially tire. You could like drop and tire from below them. Or you could sit in this window and wait for them to come in, that sort of thing. But so playing on this window might be better, because then you have the option to spam them as they come in. If they push you, you can mine to your team. You can put a trap right here for them to push. So being closer there might be a good idea, especially if you're looking for a tire. But yeah, going on this kind of, I would say this isn't really a very productive flank to go on as of the moment.
This'll be good. This bomb's for you! Defense matrix activated! Great kick Fire in the hole!
Double kill.
Alright, so back here, let's see. Right now it's a... Okay, yep. I think that's fine. Right, we tire.
Double kill.
Stop me if you've heard this one before.
Here you see him TP.
Double
Think through, like, so you see a Reaper up there, you see him TP, right? He's no longer there. Think through, like, where could he possibly be going? You didn't see him TP to you on the high ground. You didn't have visibility on the low grounds from there, right? And you didn't hear him TP below you. So here, there's some audio awareness that could come into play, but then also just think through, like, where the heck could he possibly have TP'd to, right? And then the only explanation that you can come to is he went into the room, right? And I think you even saw his guns peek through for a second there or something like that, right? So just being aware of that could probably help finish off an extra kill.
You'll like this one.
Okay. You probably traps. I haven't seen traps be put in the best of places. So that trap down. I've noticed a couple times that we placed traps like on health packs like that. Think this health pack right here. Okay. You land the trap. What happens if you land the trap here? Are you going to be able to get a kill out of that? Oh, if you're talking, I
Okay.
can't hear you. Go ahead.
Oh shit, my mic was muted.
Yeah, all good.
So for that trap, I don't think I would like close the distance on getting that pick if they're down there.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to follow up on it, right? So if you're unable to follow up on the trap, then the trap doesn't serve too much of a purpose, unless it's purely used for like to do like watching an angle, scouting for positions, right? Like, so you, for example, you're on the high ground, you place a trap here so that nobody can walk up without alerting you, right? That sort of idea. But that's not going to be like, why would you need to know that somebody's over here, right? So therefore, putting a trap maybe more so like in this window, or just like you probably you want to place it where there's high foot traffic, where it's not going to immediately get killed, where they can't see it. So right where Reinhardt's standing might be a good idea, right behind this window, because they're not going to be able, because if it's right here, they see it, they break it, they destroy it. If it's right here, then someone might accidentally walk to the side or back up into it. And then that ends up trapping them in. Those are some ideas to work with rather than putting it down below.
Yeah.
I'm under attack.
Yeah, so pretty much just a little bit to the side there. And then here they're going below you. Never mind, going above you.
Stop me if you've heard this one before.
Nice.
Yahee Parambasta Viktahe.
I am strong.
Okay.
This bomb's for you.
Double
Ho ho ho! That kill feed is very beautiful.
I think that was the only time I actually walked up to them.
Get through this.
60 seconds remaining.
You'll like this one.
Alright, now in this scenario, right? You don't have your ult. So here they're walking through this choke. And in my head now I'm thinking, okay, could we not do the same exact spamming, but now from up here, right?
Okay.
And would not, from up here, would not this be safer, right? And further away from the fight and the action. That would probably be my suggestion. Now, once they, so that's it. Once again, that's getting to the spam versus brawl. Well, I mean, like that. Actually, I think that's a good way to think about it. Sorry, that's like the first time I've come up with that that way to talk about it, right? So think of it, yeah, think of your play style as in those two phases: spam and brawl, spam and brawl. And right now we're in that spam phase, so we play as a spam character. We stay far away, we play slowly, we try to drag it out, spam as much as possible. And then once spam has not worked and they have pushed in, and then we resort to phase 2, which is brawl. We go in, we get closer, we go in, get within range of our abilities to actually do things. Here we're starting off in the brawl phase, whereas spam phase probably would be preferable. But back when I was saying to go for the tire, this might be more preferable because you can't really tire too well from up here. If you tire from up here, then they're going to see it here and see it coming from a mile away. Your body's going to be super exposed, so maybe you'd have to come into the corner here. Just wouldn't be great. You'd have to, you wouldn't be able to just go straight at them. You'd maybe have to like drop and go under or something like that. But from here, we can instantly get on top of them, go over the top, drop, surprise attack, right? That sort of thing. So
Yeah.
that makes sense in terms of when you do what.
Oh, for this team?
Oh, for the scenario.
Oh, for the scenario. I think I'm just spamming, but I think I overstay my welcome on the high ground
Hmm.
because Reaper Kellys. I thought I booped them away from that ledge.
Hmm. Yeah, possibly also mining to escape rather than to damage. There's another option there.
Rise and shine.
Game on.
30 seconds remaining.
I'll just leave this
We
here.
have this in the bag.
Fire! Fire in the hole!
Okay. Maybe a little bit early.
10 seconds
Now you still get a
remaining.
kill, but it's on a Zarya, and the issue, Zarya, if she was paying attention, she had bubble. So a little bit early in the fight. The reason why it's a little bit early, and the reason why it's an issue is because they're going to have all of their abilities. So Zarya's gonna have both her bubbles, so she can bubble whoever gets hit. They have all their shield. They have all their mobility to dodge. Right, Genji has dash, etc. And then additionally, they're not distracted at all. So all 6 of them can turn and look and kill Tyre. They can put all their attention and effort into dodging it. But then also they can play super spread out, and that means they're only going to get 1 or 2 people. But if we waited just 5 extra seconds, they have to go and touch point here. We could be, and if they have to touch point here and they come top right, then now they're all, or they go main, they're all instantly grouped up into this tiny little ball. They're going to be distracted. They have to use abilities to go and get on the point. They've just instantly expended all of those. So that'd be like, it's not like this is the most terrible thing. You get a kill out of it, but you could probably be a lot more efficient if we just waited an extra 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, this doorway would be an excellent place to trap because Genji tries to come up, Reaper tries to come up. You've already seen them do that multiple times, and they instantly
Yeah.
get trapped as soon as they get up here. Right? Genji, if he stepped right there, he'd be dead. Right? If we just place trap. Make sure that you are just placing trap just as often as possible. You want it out there doing things. So here, if we just have trap down there on the ledge, then Genji dies. Oh, there you go. Little bit far away from the ledge, so he has to walk in a hair. You might be able to see it. Okay. Might be where you want to push in once again. Get a little bit more aggro, drop on them. Rolled them there.
Oh wait, did that Genji use his ult?
Yes, he did.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Oh.
Miss a shot. Melee to finish. Besides that, yep. Meaning we miss it. We react a second late, miss a shot, and then yeah. Besides that, maybe melee, and that's about it.
Yeah, I thought I could kill him, but his lifesteal's kind of clutch for him.
Yep.
I will shape order from chaos.
Alright, this is where my team had a struggle. When my main tank, he was like, oh, they got a Bastion. He was like too worried about it.
My teleporter is online.
But let's see.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here your team is very split. You Reinhardt, yeah, I mean, like, we're not coaching him, but he overstays his welcome. He peeks the Bastion. He kind of runs into the Bastion. Your team is kind of going in different directions here. I mean that's fine if you're getting an off angle, but at the same time your Reinhardt was just kind of pushing.
Yeah.
Right now probably just want to be spamming. Okay, we want to find an angle on that Bastion right now. Okay, do they have, if you are staying on high grounds and keeping your distance, what of theirs can come and contest you?
Maybe the Ash, maybe, but
Mm.
sort of.
And then are you able to duel Ash effectively?
At long ranges, no. But
At long ranges, no. At close ranges?
possibly yes, 50-50. Depends on.
So at a close range, you think it's a 50-50 you versus Ash?
Yeah. If I could close a distance when she's not looking.
Well, I'm saying already we're assuming that you're at a close range, right? At a close range, you think it's 50-50.
Yeah, it depends, because I usually like to keep my distance most of the time on any matchup.
Yeah, that's where we get into what we were talking about before for 2 things. Firstly, 1, no, you don't want to keep distance unless there's a character who's better at close range than you. So unless you're trying to stay outside of McCree's flashbang range, or unless you're trying to stay away from a Reaper, or unless you're trying to stay outside of May's freeze or Reinhardt's swing range, right? So unless you're trying to do one of those things, you do not want to keep your range. So you trying to keep your range against an Ashe gets you killed while you try to spam and miss all your shots, right? If you are right next to an Ashe, you can do what you saw me doing to the bots in the training range. You do a one-tap combo and Ashe is dead immediately. It is not a 50-50. If you're right next to Ashe, it's more like a now if Ashe is being pocketed, it's a little bit different, but if it's you versus Ashe in a 1v1 at a very close range, then it's more like 80-20. You should probably certainly win that fight, you versus Ashe. Now, if Ashe is being pocketed, you should still probably win it because you can one-tap Ashe doing your combo at a close range, but she does have a little bit of extra survivability if you mess something up. So then it would maybe make it like a 60-40, something like that. But you, for the most part, if as long as you're at a close range to her and not like mid to far range, you should have the advantage in that matchup. Once you get to the mid to far range, then yes, she does get that matchup because that's how the ranging works out. Yeah, so that'll be what I would say to that. You don't underestimate your ability to duel at a close range. That's why we've been talking about you as a close range character when it comes to the brawly aspect of your character.
Okay.
So, therefore, right? So they have one Ashe. If we're close range, we can take her. Right now, we're looking to kill their. They have all their stuff. We're trying to get around the shields, probably. Right, we're trying to get around, get an off angle, be able to shoot at them. Where is an angle that we can stay at a safe distance while getting around their shields here?
Probably that corner. Just try to lob grenades off the wall, possibly,
Oh
and make
yeah,
it
I mean
knock
that's fair. You could. That
Yeah.
might be slightly difficult. Would mean that you're unable to follow up with mines. You might not be able to use trap as effectively. I honestly would say go ahead and like mine over to this high ground, right? Get up over here because then you can peek and go behind them. You can come from top left. You can come from up here. You can come from down here. If you need healing, you can go and try to find a health pack. You can request healing, get your BAP to heal you, but mainly you're trying to play safe. You can drop a trap just on their heads. You can come over and spam them. That would be a good option to go for here. This would be okay to go for. That'd be probably the second best option you could go for here. This would be okay, but it'd end up spamming from really far away. But yeah, like if anybody tries to contest you, if they all come up the stairs or like Sigma tries to come up the stairs, then run away. But like Ashe tries to dynamite up to you and you're this close to her, you shred her in half a second. Is pretty much how that engagement works out. You got to be careful of the pull, and you got to be careful of people pushing you, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
So it is, you do have to be careful. It's just you can still do it while being careful. So this is not a bad option. That's honestly, this is a pretty good option to be going for. Drop a trap on their heads. You can just throw it over the edge here. That's a free kill if that just traps somebody. And once again, remember that mine is a finisher because now you don't have any mines for finisher if you need it. Because notice how like you're kind of opening with it. Both of those request healing when you're low. Get your supports to look at you. Nice. Okay, how's this fight looking so far?
Not winnable.
Not
So
winnable.
just
Yeah, so we're re-engaging when the fight's probably, yes, already lost. So make sure you're not running back into lost fights.
okay.
Watch kill feed, watch the team as you're re-engaging, and then look to back out.
Oh, let's break it. Damn! I'll just leave this here.
Okay, watch the spam mines, or like here, you just kind of toss it in when you don't even know what's there yet.
Yeah.
Same right here, we're just kind of spamming nothing in particular.
Cease your resistance.
Okay, I think this would be a wonderful flank to go on, right? If you're just popping up over to this side and coming around and flanking these guys, getting up right next to them, melting Bastion, or even tiring and just going tire, two people. That sort of idea. We're a little bit slow on it. We're not rotating. We probably could have started rotating 5, 6, 7 seconds ago. But we're kind of waiting till now to rotate and go on this angle. Last time I believe we went over off angling with Echo. So remember, you're trying to do that same sort of idea here on Junkrat. Except for you're taking less of sky off angles and more of just, left, right, high ground off angles, which are still going to be there pretty frequently.
Stop me if you've heard this one before. Fire in the hole!
Okay, once again, notice how we're tiring a little bit early. So, as a reminder, or even just a new topic, I don't remember if we went over this last time. You don't want to ult before the fight has begun. The fight has not begun yet, right now, right? Because you can primarily tell based off of the distancing between your team, the main bulk of your team, and their team, right? The main bulk of your team is a good 7 seconds away from actually engaging them, right? And that means the fight probably has not started yet. So once again, if we're tiring here, they're not distracted. They have all their abilities. They can shred it instantly as it's coming in, right? The second thing, yeah. So that's mainly it. Wait for the fight to start. So you want to use it at the beginning of the fight, just not before the fight is the issue. And then besides that, if you're coming in with tire, I might not come in from this angle. This angle means that it goes through wide open space. A better tire, if you know that they're over on this right side, might be to sneak up above them and tire from above, just like straight down on top of them. That might be a good one to go for. Do we have our team with us? Watch it, because I think you're stepping ahead of your team in this instance. We're going a little bit aggro, right? We kind of jump in immediate here when our team is not engaging yet, which means that we are just taking a lot of extra damage. Yeah, and then we maybe get slightly aggro on the flank.
10 seconds remaining.
Time grows short. Do not let it go to waste.
This bomb's for you!
Overtime.
Helden sterben nicht.
Yeah, watch those walls and whatnot.
All right.
Okay, notice I think that might be like the first trap we've used on offense.
Okay.
So pretty much you just want to be getting that out, and then that immediately does stuff to Sigma, right? You just want to be getting that out there doing stuff. Throw it into the fray. Right. So issue here is that we're visible to the Ashe with her spamming, so our body might end up actually getting killed here by Ashe if she's paying attention to you. And then Dynamite ends up taking it out. When it comes to tires, you want to be careful when you're. A lot of our tires aren't getting value, right? This is, I think, like the third or fourth tire that we've used and it's just gotten destroyed. When you're using your tire, you have a bunch of different strategies that you can go for with it. And it's different. You're going to use different ones in different scenarios. You can mix it up if you're trying to get them to not be able to predict it, but it's also going to be dependent on like what's going on, right? So when it comes to tires, firstly, one thing I might recommend, I guess actually you need to get tires, but one thing I might recommend here is before you tire, you want to plop out a trap on top of your body. So just anytime you tire, you want to find a safe space, right? So you want a safety so your body can stay alive. Sometimes we're tiring and we're kind of out in the open. So you want to stay alive, and then right before you tire, you're going to place down a trap right at your feet. That means that if anybody comes and finds your body to kill you, if they might accidentally trap themselves and then die to your death mines. That's just an extra little step. It's very easy. It takes you extra literal half a second before you tire. It's just EQ, and then that just might end up getting you a few extra kills. Besides that, when you are tiring, you have a couple different strategies. You have sneaky tires, you have delayed tires, you have wraparound tires, you have fast tires. The big thing is you don't want to be going through smack dab through the open, which is what a lot of our tires are doing, is we'll just throw it down main. So if you recall last time we talked about main and off angles, and a lot of times we're just kind of throwing our tire straight through the open, straight down main, and then it just intercepts all of the damage in the world. And that's not usually what we want to do with tires, because if they're intercepting all of the damage, then it's going to blow up instantaneously, which is what all of them have done so far, right? They've all blown up instantly, and then they haven't done anything. So what you want to do with your tire, you have a couple different options, right? You can, firstly, you can go for a sneaky one. So rather than just, what you would do is you have been doing this where you'll kind of be in the fight and you'll do it straight from main where they all see you, they all know where it's coming from, and they can blow it up super easily. You toss it down this angle, it's taking all the damage. Instead, you can be sneaky with it, so you can come up on this angle, get really close to them without them knowing, crouch, get as close as possible. You can do a really quick tire if you're close enough. Or if you're sneaky enough, you can do a quick tire. So if you're right next to them, so like if you're right down here, you could just blow it up instantly. And that's really primarily going to be best if they don't know where you are, or if you are right next to them. Those are best tires to use, right? Now you can also delay them. So if they do know where the tire's coming from, you can run it into a wall and just keep it here because you have 10 whole seconds. You don't have to use it immediately, right? Run it into a wall. This actually mutes the sound so they don't know where it's coming from, and then go out, right? And then that will just confuse them as to where the heck it's coming from. So delayed tires are going to be good. You can also go on off angles and flanks with the tires, right? Don't come from the main angle with it. Come from someplace crazy. Additionally, you can take it up to high grounds, right? So if you're on the low grounds here, let me get tire back up. Right, if we're on the low ground, we can send it back up to the high ground, and then that's gonna be a good angle to come from. Let me go get it. All right, so if we really, so rather than sending it straight down this angle, we might come from the high ground ourselves, or we could take the high ground with it. So if we're trying to get it in there and we're all the way back here, we can take it the path where it's safe, come up the high ground, come over this way, and then now we've just gotten on top of them instantly without taking damage. So take off angles, take flanks, take high grounds, use cover as you're approaching, same as you would with yourself. Man, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think there might be like one more, but I can't remember what I was going to say with it. That all making sense? Any questions on any of that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Alrighty. So, I believe that is about it. So why don't we start heading to the wrap-up, right, main points and whatnot. So, yeah. Ability usage, mines, mobility, and finish off combos. Side uses, right, to disrupt people, get them off of you. Sometimes it is good to disrupt people. Sometimes, in a lot of cases, it's not going to be great if you're just randomly disrupting them. Don't use it for spam as often. You can if it's like a really really juicy mine and you know you're gonna get like everybody with it, but you don't often want to just toss it in for no additional reason, because then it just makes it harder for you to shoot everybody. Use it as the finisher, not the engager. Besides that, trap, make sure you're just plopping it, getting it in there. Trap before you ult. Trap where you know you're actually going to be able to follow up on it. Trap behind corners so that they, for example here, if they, you know they're coming from this angle and there's high foot traffic going to be right here. You're not going to place it right here where they can see it. You're going to place it right around the corner so that, look, they're coming up. They don't see it until they've already dropped on top of it, right? And then besides that, you can also drop it over walls and stuff like that, right? You can do this where you're coming in, you're shooting at them from above. You can just drop a trap over the edge, right? And that just gets it in there doing stuff. And that just opens up for free kills, right? When you trap people, it's basically just a free kill. Overall, ability usage went to like a medium or so, somewhere around that. Maybe like lower end of medium. Ult usage, yeah, let's say lower end of medium with abilities, right? Ult usage, definitely want to get more value out of those, right? Be sneaky, take it, use cover with it, delay it, get up close to people, take, angles that they're not expecting. Don't go straight down main. When you are ulting, make sure it's not before the fight has begun. Use it after the fight has, like right at the start of the fight is where you want to be using it, preferably. So a lot of times we're using it too early. And that's mainly it. Overall, that's like a higher end of a medium, because I don't think that's just a lot of kills we can get if we're actually using it well. I think maybe I saw you get like a kill, right? That came with it. When you probably could have been getting a lot more. Try to get center people on it, right? We accidentally did it too high, give it an extra half a second to get low enough to kill them. That's about it. Right? Then mechanics. I do not know if we went over too much over mechanics.
No, not a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't think we reviewed too much on mechanics at all. Sorry, one second. Yeah, so sorry about that. I had somebody walk in. So then let's see. We didn't talk on mechanics. Mechanics not really a big deal. Moving on, we got to positioning. Yeah, let's see. Positioning, we went over ranging, right? You have spammy play style, but then you can, once they've gotten out of those chokes and those clumped up areas, we're gonna convert to a brawly play style. That's maybe something we could throw into mechanics, but it's not. I don't know. Like that we can just keep that paralleled to the ranging. We don't need to complicate that. So
Yeah.
spammy ranging, spammy play style when they're grouped up. When they are no longer grouped up, then we're getting in closer brawling, right? You're gonna have a like 15-meter cap off, but it's gonna be better and better as you get closer here, and that way you're actually able to do stuff. Besides that, use cover, take high grounds. Watch their flank angles. Use off angles yourself, right? Especially like on attack there when you're working with the bastion. Look to get in around those shields and whatnot. We had like a bunch of opportunities to go for that we could have done. And then overall, that probably went to round a higher end of a medium. Yeah, higher end of medium, possibly lower end of medium high. And then we have awareness, pay attention to your surroundings, what's going on with the fight, where's your team, where's the enemy team, what's happening, like, who's up, who's down. So watching, is he still alive down there? Yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Watching what's going on in the fight, make sure you're not walking back into an already lost fight. Overall, kind of the same old here and there things. Probably around like medium, lower end of medium, somewhere around that. So to put that all in order, number one comes out to the positioning, right? Mainly that ranging is a big thing, and off angles. So those were kind of the two main things. Then number two probably comes to your ult usage. Then number three to awareness, 4 to ability usage, and then that's about it. Any questions?
No, that's about it. Just
Alrighty. Sounds good. We got an extra 4 minutes. Why don't we hop into the back into the replay and we can go over a couple more minutes.
yeah.
And then same as per usual, I'll get you your notes and your, or actually no, let me go check that. Actually, never mind. We said last time that we were gonna do notes for the first and the last one, so I'll get you your recording after we're done, and then we can look to schedule the next one. And then, did you want to schedule your next one now, or do that later over on Calendly?
The next one now. Could it be 2 hours?
Oh,
Or
sure. Yep, we could do 2 hours. Yeah, we can just do that now then. 2 hours. I'm gonna stop the